Hello everyone, I am starting a new video lecture series. This time it's about hierarchical multiple regression. So this video series will be composed of several parts. First, I will briefly discuss hierarchical multiple regression from a conceptual standpoint, and then the next video will be about running hierarchical multiple regression, specifically using JASP. Third is a video on how to prepare a hierarchical multiple regression table in APA format, transposing the raw JASP output into that APA formatted table. And then the fourth one is how to write the results section, the report itself based on the tabular results. And then there is a fifth bonus video which will be revealed at the end of the series. Before we continue, I'm inviting everyone to kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. More than 90% of the people who are watching these tutorials are not subscribed, so I would really appreciate it if you can help me, help the channel by subscribing. So let's talk about hierarchical multiple regression and what it is. Initially, I was thinking of discussing multiple regression first before tackling hierarchical multiple regression, but I came to a realization that more often than not, when we submit our articles for publication, it's quite rare that we only use multiple regression, because more often than not, the journals will always ask for us to control for some variables. And when we control some variables, that typically would require a hierarchy or a kind of a step approach in introducing the variables. So we first introduce the control variables, and then we introduce the actual predictor variables. And that in of itself requires hierarchical multiple regression. So I decided to focus on this because I think that this is more useful and more conventional than the basic multiple regression approach. So what is hierarchical multiple regression? Of course, our understanding of this can be anchored on our understanding of what multiple regression is. So in multiple regression is used when we want to test a model wherein we have an outcome variable that is typically continuous, and we have a number of predictor variables, multiple predictor variables, most of them continuous, although multiple regression can also accommodate dichotomous predictors. What is continuous? What is dichotomous? I hope that you know what I mean by those things by now. But anyway, when we say continuous variables, this means to say that the measurement is in terms of scores, such as age, a score in a standardized test. Whereas when we say categorical, this means to say that the variation of that particular variable is in terms of categories. For example, male or female, those are categories. First year, second year, third year, fourth year, those are categories. And more specifically, when we say dichotomous, there are only two levels. So sex, for example, has only two levels, a biological sex at least. So that is a dichotomous variable. So the categories are only male and female. So that's when we use multiple regression. Multiple predictors simultaneously trying to predict the outcome variable. But when does the multiple regression become hierarchical? So hierarchical multiple regression is used when you want to predict an outcome variable using a set of predictor variables, but instead of simultaneously inputting them, let's say for example this one, all 7 predictors at the same time, you do it in stages or in hierarchy. So it could be that you first test the first model wherein you input 2 predictors, and then followed by, in step 2, you will add 2 more predictors. So this becomes your step 2 model, and then in the final step you add 3 more predictors. Your final model becomes all of the predictors. Now every time that we test these different models, it will result into statistics that we are familiar with now from multiple regression. So we have R, or the multiple correlation coefficient. For example, if we go to our step 1, R simply refers to the collective correlation of both of these predictor variables to the outcome variable. And then when you multiply R by itself, you will get variance, or variance explained, or R squared. Variance explained is typically a measure of how much of the variation in the outcome variable can be accounted for by these two predictors. And then whether or not the variance explained is significant, we have an F ratio, or an ANOVA test for that. And if we look at the individual contributions of this predictor and this predictor, then you have your unstandardized regression coefficients, your standardized regression coefficient, the t-statistic that tests whether the standardized regression coefficient is significantly different from 0, and the p-value associated with that particular t-statistic. So all of these you will find, or there will be outputs for all of these statistics for all of the models. But what makes hierarchical multiple regression unique is that it can measure what we refer to as change in R squared, or change in variance. So what is change in R squared? So let's examine, or let's take for example the transition from step 1 to step 2. In step 1, we measured how much of the variance in the outcome variable can be accounted for by the first two predictors. Let's say, for example, these are our control variables. So there's a corresponding R squared for that. In step 2, this time we have our 4 predictors, 2 control variables, and then 2 of our actual predictor variables. This also has a corresponding R squared. So we have 2 R squared now that we're talking about. R squared based on this, and R squared based on all of these predictors. But what if I want to know simply the variance in the outcome variable that is accounted for by these two only? What do I do? What we can do is we can subtract the R squared based on step 1 from the R squared based on the variables from step 1 and step 2. And when we subtract that, the difference is what we refer to as change in R squared. Similarly, from step 2 to step 3 also has its own R squared. And if I simply want to know what's the variance in the outcome variable explained by these predictor variables only, the last 3 predictors in step 3, I can simply subtract the R squared based on this from the R squared based on all of the predictor variables. And there is a corresponding R squared for that as well. Now, to determine whether the increase or the R squared change is significant, there's also an F statistic that is associated with that change in R squared. Our succeeding examples, this will be the model that we will test. So our outcome variable is mathematics proficiency, and we hypothesize that mathematics proficiency is or can be predicted by a host of social variables. These are our social variables, but specifically looking at the social variables, it was conceptualized that the social variables can be clustered as risk factors versus protective factors. So let's say, for example, that is our main objective. But at the same time, we want to test the collective and unique contributions of these variables to math proficiency, controlling for some control variables, specifically sex and ESCS, or economic, social, and cultural status. So in this specific scenario, this would require a three-step hierarchical multiple regression. So that's it for our brief refresher about what hierarchical multiple regression is. In the next video, I will demonstrate how to run the analysis in JASP. So thank you very much. I hope that you learned something. Again, I'm inviting you to please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.